We're live, David. So, good morning.
So this morning I was going to give you the first word. I almost gave it to you.
You almost gave it to you. So, David, what are we doing today? We're talking about threat physiology and safety regarding love.
Well, first of all, a little background. There's a movie documentary just being produced and presented to the world called Love Heals. And Dana Kosher is a person I've been working with for a couple of years. And she has tried multiple different processes and had benefit from all of them. And one of them was working with the program called the DOC Journey, which is a sequence of steps to allow you to connect your own capacity to heal. People heal themselves. And so her roommate, Krisanna, is a documentary filmmaker. And for some reason, they started to document her journey before they knew how it was going to turn out. Very interesting. So you have a movie that you don't know how it's going to end. And then I didn't know how I didn't know they were documenting the journey when I was working with her. But she had a couple surgeries and they made her way worse, which is why I quit my surgical practice, as you know. And Dana really, by the time the film was started, had healed quite a bit. Even in the last 3 months, she continues to thrive. And then we all met in our backyard. And you met her and talked to her and Krisanna. And we're both part of this documentary called Love Heals. And we want to really convey the idea that love is maybe the most overused word on this planet. And I didn't understand what it meant until I understood the physiology of the body of safety versus threat. So there's a whole physiology of love that's actually truly healing. This is not a benign word or casual word. Your body chemistry actually changes and allows you to heal.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, David, let me take it one step further and bring it into the brain. I think maybe it could be the most overused word or maybe underused word. I know I didn't grow up saying I was loved, but it was demonstrated. But I think saying the word, love is very important. It has a physiological and psychological effect on it. So check this out. So did you know, David, you probably know this, but I'm wondering whether the audience also knows this. Send us a message and a comment if you actually know this, that when you feel connected with yourself or connected with someone, where you really feel that they're in your best favor, you trust them. Did you know that this is the part, David, you're going to tease me. I know you're going to do this, but here goes. Did you know that the very brain part that lights up when you do cocaine, not that any one of us has done cocaine, I'm just saying, did you know that very intense, that very like wow effect? Did you know it's the same brain part that lights up when cocaine is used? I've studied this. Is the same brain part when you feel loved. It's the cingulate gyrus. It's called the cingulate gyrus. It's like an arch in your brain. And check this out even further. When you are loving towards yourself, and when you receive love from others, or you're willing to receive love from others, it actually changes your brain chemistry, your dopamine. You're more likely to do it again or connect with someone. And you're more likely, for example, when you're kinder to yourself, the physiological effect is what we call a reward-based learning, specifically in the nucleus accumbens. So you get a dopamine hit, you get a serotonin hit, and your body chemistry changes. This is why love is so powerful and has a physiological effect. The psychological effect, David, is basically when you have that smile on your face, you feel like there's sunshine, and we tend to, I've seen that in your eyes, a little twinkle in your eyes.
Surgeons don't smile, so just get over it. don't try.
So basically, it's a very powerful effect that we've studied, and David, what about threat and safety? I mean, the chemistry to the what is a cytokine, and what's that got to do with love anyhow, and inflammation?
Well, people have to understand that every living creature gravitates towards safety and avoids threat. But the first thing we have to do is avoid threat. So the human organism, as well as every other living creature's body, is geared towards avoiding danger. Then we rest when we can to regenerate our fuel supplies and replenish our fuel supplies to fight another day. So what happens, anxiety is just a signal that there's danger. So when you feel anxious and angry or angry, why something in the present moment reminded you of something in the past. That's how we stay alive. If something was dangerous in the past or perceived as dangerous, you're going to avoid it like right now, today. So Dr. Anthony Novello has a book called The Way to Love, and Dr. Aria is going to read us a quote here in a second. Aren't you, Dr. Aria? But he defines love as awareness. So awareness is listening to you, understanding you, trying to meet your needs, is connection, commitment, and then awareness and love are the same word, according to Dr. DeMello, and I agree. So when you're anxious or frustrated, you're completely out of the present. Thank you, Dr. Aria. I'm glad you have your homework done. So that's the part that's so hard to understand, because I spent my entire life being anxious, angry, and reactive.
Yeah.
And the problem is you're there, you're not here. So we understand that you have to learn how to process anxiety and anger. And then you move into a different safety physiology. And that's where healing occurs. People really do go to pain-free. The quality of life changes dramatically. Dana's experience, as you see on the film, is not a subtle experience. It's very powerful. But you and I see it happen all the time. This is not an unusual experience of what they went through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what DeMello says. And again, I just showed everyone this book, The Way to Love by Angelo DeMello, DeMello. And I like one of his quotes that David and I did a podcast called Dynamic Healing Podcast. Do check it out. One of the things that we start the quote with this, that I like what DeMello says, that does a rose choose its fragrance to be given only to good people? No, it doesn't. So love does not discriminate. It does not kind of choose. Love is unconditional in that sense. And it's very difficult for us human beings to be unconditional loving to ourselves, or even to receive it from people. This is why it's really important, part of your healing journey, whether it's trauma, depression, anxiety, chronic pain, is how you show up for yourself really does change the physiology. Think about this, self-judgment. Self-judgment is self-abuse. Because it's okay to judge yourself, but it's the chronicity of it that tends to be intoxicating, that creates the inflammatory, it creates muscle tension, nerve sensitivity, and it just makes us feel like crap, right? Because we feel like there's a parent inside of us that's kicking our butt. So the point here is what David and I are trying to say, is that the foundation of your healing journey actually starts with love. How kind can you be for yourself? How can you be courageous to show up for yourself? Even if you're having a shitty day, but the point here is you get to show up for yourself.
Well, there's a friend of ours, Bruce Lipton, who has become a good friend of mine. We've done videos together, and he wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. And Dr. Stephen Cole out of UCLA documented this. Dr. Navio out of San Diego documented this, is that your belief systems actually change your body's physiology. It's unbelievable. We had no idea. So for humans, thoughts and concepts are as powerful as a chair or a table. And so it's interesting that the belief systems really do change the way you think, but also how your body responds. It's not positive thinking, it's connection. So positive vision is a lot different than connection. So another mentor of mine, and can I tell my little story about my mindfulness walk the other day, Dr. Aria? Do I have permission?
Yeah, why don't you? I think the audience will be entertained by it. So go ahead.
There's a mentor of mine who's a very powerful person, one of the most successful people I know, and he is relentless in choice. He is a choice between negativity and positivity. He always chooses positive. So the message we're going to give you today is choose love. Choose it over and over and over again, because you've now programmed your brain to choose love. So that's why, for instance, we don't let people talk about their pain. We don't let them complain or gossip, because what's your choice there? So he gave me a homework assignment. He's my mentor right now, mentoring a bunch of us. And his choice was, go take a walk in nature and just notice things. So I was by the bay and I noticed the litter and the asphalt and the freeway noise. And I noticed a tree here and there. So I just was noticing my choices. So on the way back, I said, something, I'm going to make a different choice. I'm going to choose beauty. So I started noticing these incredible flowers, the smallest flowers you can imagine, purple, blue, red, super small red flowers. I saw these big clumps of flowers that I completely missed. There's all sorts of birds and sounds and all sorts of stuff. And on the way back, it was a completely different experience, because my brain was focused on beauty as opposed to negativity. Because remember, the default mechanism for your brain is negative. Right? That's what it's supposed to, your brain's always looking out for danger. So as you continually make a choice to, I'm going to say, choose joy, choose love, choose to be aware, those repetitive choices actually change your genomic expression. It changes your body's chemistry. It changes your epigenetic code. It has a profound effect on your body. And conversely, if you want to say negative and stressed, people die sooner. They get diseases. That's been well documented also.
Absolutely. And
So it's just
David,
the ongoing day-to-day choice. Like right now, I don't have a choice of that sunlight coming into the room and just wiping out my screen.
it's so dramatic, David.
I have a choice of embracing light. I can embrace light.
It's so dramatic, but yes, you're right. But your point is well taken that we have choice, we have control over certain things. And I had to tease David. There was an opportunity. So, David, those things you mentioned is it comes down to this, and we feel sometimes like we don't have choice, but we really do. I think that's a wonderful example that, as your mentor is doing, is where can we funnel that love, that joy. David, one of the things before we sign off here, I wanted to kind of run through a few physical benefits. So David and I have been researching, and there were several benefits we noticed based on research studies that we found, the physiological effect and psychological effect of how love actually promotes healing. Check this out. Did you know that when people feel loved, or when you are loving towards yourself, your blood pressure drops? That's one. Did you know that when you're feeling loved, and again, towards yourself, anxiety, depression, you don't suffer as much? I mean, you still are struggling with it, but it's not, the sting is less, and you have a sense of hope. Did you know that when you actually have a wound or surgery, or you have a slip and a fall, and you have a flare-up, when you feel loved, your pain flare-ups are shorter, and your wound healing, David and I talked about this in our podcast, in Dynamic Healing Podcast. And we basically talk about an article that when they had wounds, people who felt loved actually had faster healing. So love is not some Hollywood woo-woo stuff or some psychological stuff. There's a psychology to it, but the physiology today we wanted to emphasize that it actually heals the body. And one last thing I wanted to kind of tell the audience here. In the workshop, I'll tell you how love actually helped me out. And David actually also helped me out. So Dana and Krisanna, big thank you to you for my weight loss, which I'll tell you about how I did that. And it was amazing. The kinder I am to myself, the more I'm willing to do healthy behaviors. Because as David and I will tell you, is over COVID, we both were quite overwhelmed with many different responsibilities. So it has not only just a physiological effect, it also impacts your health behaviors. So I'll be sharing that in the workshop. Hopefully folks will join us for David, and he gets to tease me as always. And David, when are we doing this again? Since you gave me the first word, or second word, was it? I'll let you have the last word. When are we meeting again, and any other details, just to remind folks about the phone?
So when I get teased by you, what happens to my physiology?
David, I'll just give you a hug across the screen, big guy. It's all good, all good.
All right, so here we go. So here's the schedule. So on Thursday morning, Dr. Aria is going to discuss love further, and basically how to induce it more than why. So today we're talking about why love heals. It changes your physiology, and the wounds don't heal faster, by the way. They heal twice as fast, because it's anti-inflammatory, actually promotes wound healing. So we're going to talk about how 7 o'clock Thursday morning, we have another Facebook Live. The next, which day of the week is it, Les?
Thursday, David, the 28th.
No, Thursday, yes, but the workshop.
Oh, the workshop is May 1st, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and details will be in the description of this live Facebook here.
So that's Saturday, correct?
It's Sunday, David. So
it's Sunday.
It's okay. Hey, this is why you have a wingman. So it's all good. I got you. So folks, it's so do definitely check out the description below. And for those of you listening right now, lovehealsfilm.com. Click on Watch Now. You can sign up for the tickets at $15. And we want to really support Dana and Krisanna, the phenomenal film producers. In fact, truth be told, I actually cried. It was very, very moving because I found myself in the movie. So the schedule is, when you do get the tickets, it's only $15. So please do support these wonderful producers and filmmakers. It's the film will be available today, April 25th, and runs all the way through May 2nd. The workshop, which is free with the tickets, It will be on Sunday, May 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So the details are in the link in the Facebook Live description. David?
So I'll work on showing up the correct day.
I'm gonna call you.
But unless you got this, if you're there by yourself, you'll do fine.
You're so mean, dude. Folks,
So the workshop will be very interactive.
Yeah.
And Dana will be part of it also. So you get to talk to all of us. We're going to have a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. And we're excited to be part of this. It really is. That's what drives Les and I probably beyond reason is we see people that just have absolute abject despair go from, and I was there myself, as most of you know, to, as you learn to process stress, you learn to thrive, but you thrive at a level you never knew was possible. That's what's exciting about this whole project. So we're excited about it. We're excited to be part of this film. And Dr. Aria, did I just get the last word? Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll see you Thursday.
Have a great morning.